Police in Oklahoma have made an arrest in a mass shooting that happened over the weekend. 18-year-old Jaylan Davis was taken into custody Wednesday by Oklahoma County authorities. He's accused of being the primary aggressor during that shooting that led to an 18-year-old woman killed and 23 people injured. Witnesses identified Davis as the shooter, and police later recovered ammunition from his home that was matched to the scene. Police also say the incident was now a gang-related dispute. Davis faces assault and battery with a deadly weapon charges. His bond was set at $1 million. At the Arkansas Capitol, a hearing was held to discuss the death of a man at the State Department Human Services care facility. In September, Zachary Moore of Greenwood died after being chemically injected during an incident with DHS employees. 12 workers have since been fired from the Southeast Center. 6 now face manslaughter and neglect charges. Wednesday, lawmakers and DHS discussed how to prevent this from ever happening again. DHS leaders say they hired an outside consultant to review procedures and hope to have the review complete later this summer. Moore's mother, Angela Stevens, spoke at the meeting and urged leaders to make changes.
Zachary paid the price for this to be noticed. So what's going to come of it? Is his death in vain? How can I help y'all understand and help for the next Zachary not to go through this?
Stevens was awarded $725,000 in a settlement payment from the state last month. A full recap of this week's hearing and the entire case can be found on our website, 5newsonline.com. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has just signed a new round of tax cuts into law. The new law lowers states' top individual income tax rate from 3.9% to 3.7%. Taxpayers in the bottom 80% of earners will save about $50 on average per taxpayer, or about $24 million in total, according to an analyst from the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy. Oklahoma lawmakers have sent a bill to the governor's desk that would make the state's bell-to-bell, no-cell policy permanent in schools. The legislation would require districts to prohibit student cell phone use during the day. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shares how some school districts say this policy is already making a difference.
Poteau Public Schools has had a no cell phone policy in place for over a year. The superintendent tells me it's brought nothing but positive effects for students. The bill would make Oklahoma's bell-to-bell no-cell policy a permanent part of state law after it was first introduced as a pilot program in 2025. State leaders say feedback from teachers, parents, and students has been positive, with many reporting fewer classroom distractions and better social interaction. The bill still requires schools to make accommodations for emergencies and medical issues while allowing districts flexibility in how they enforce the policy. In Poteau, district leaders say removing cell phones has already created noticeable change.
The biggest thing that we've seen at the high school and at other schools is our library books. They're just getting checked out way more. If you give a kid a choice of social media or read a book during the day, they're probably going to be on that social media. So taking away that choice has really opened up the reading, which our state obviously needs to continue to read more, and our kids got to develop in that area.
Cameron Public Schools in Oklahoma also say they recently implemented this policy and have seen positive effects both in and out of the classroom. In Poteau, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
President Trump says a deal to end the war with Iran is very possible as Tehran considers a U.S. proposal that would formally end the conflict. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
So I think we won.
President Trump insists his administration is close to an agreement with Iran, though he hasn't given a deadline.
We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
While the White House has not officially commented, Axios reports the deal centers on a one-page memorandum to end the war and then start more detailed negotiations on key issues, including a moratorium on Iran's nuclear enrichment, the lifting of U.S. sanctions, and both sides ending restrictions in the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran's president said he recently met with the new supreme leader as the regime considers the latest U.S. proposal. This morning, Saudi Arabia's state-owned television channel said that a breakthrough to let ships go through the key waterway is expected in the coming hours.
The closure has impacted Gulf allies particularly hard, and Iran is signaling it's trying to formalize control over vital shipping lanes in the strait.
Not only are they suffering from military strikes, but these economic strikes. The straits have been closed since February 28th, and only about 5% of shipping is getting through a day now. There used to be about 3,000 vessels a day. So this is really stressful for those economies.
A global shipping intelligence firm reports Iran has launched a new authority to approve ship movement and collect tolls. Those lanes had been free and open to commerce before the war began. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.